Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. This is the boombar on your boom radio engine. My name is Shola Rogers.
And my name is Ola Dolukwa. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. But you're warm welcome to the bar. This very interesting. What is today? Wednesday, yeah? Yeah, Wednesday. Sorry.
Shame.
What?
Shame. Shame on some people.
Anyway.
You've lost your bearing.
Good day, as I said earlier. I'm going to be if you're joining us for the very first time, this is the Boom Bar where we bring you everything that has to do with politics, entertainment, sports, and everything else in between, you know? Everything else can be anything else in between. Today, everything else in between is people's, what's that your English? Unexpected pregnancies.
Yeah.
Unexpected pregnancies. And another thing we're going to be talking about today is the madness of Nigerians. Like, it is now obvious that there are only about a 1% fraction of us that are well in this country.
She counts herself amongst that 1%.
Oh, yeah.
How she does that is something that beats my imagination.
No, it is what it is. Anyway, we're definitely going to be talking about that because you will be shocked also when you hear the madness that fellow Nigerians have decided to go into this time. Also, there's a lot of news coming from different states. Former vice president has a new job. Anyway, a lot of stories come a lot of states from Lagos State to Osun State. Yeah, the Osun State is in the news as well. I think Abia State. Is it Abia State? Abia State. Abia State is in the news. I'm trying to think of who the governor is. Abia State is in the news as well, and and sport news and a lot more things that we're going to be talking about right here on the Boomba. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
And of course, a big shout out to Tokunbo Ojekunle. He's not at the bar today. He has not been called to the bar.
Very, very interesting news that we're going to be talking about today. First thing that we're going to be talking about is there's actually evidence. So it's not even would I say it's not speculations that some unfortunate people, permit me to use that word, have taken their unfortunacy to another crescendo. Or it has hit a crescendo where some road fittings in the newly built second Niger bridge have been stolen.
Yeah.
Isn't it pure daylight madness? Like now you know that it's not. I don't even think I would call it madness anymore. I think it's more of it's not even normal. Are you even sure that like medicine or normal what's it called can explain it anymore? Because it's not making sense.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense at all. The bridge is barely 2 months in service. I do not want to exaggerate. The official commissioning, and when it finally got opened fully, it was May.
Yeah, it was May. It was May just before former President Buhari left. Yes, right in May.
Now, the thing that makes this bridge a major talking point for us and for anybody is how you look at the history behind the bridge. It's a bridge that many people had built, but they did not build. It's a bridge that...
Why do you like to, weave your stories? People have used mouth to build.
Still the same thing.
No, they didn't build. They did not build.
Okay,
they use mouth to build.
Let me take reference on what she said. So it's a build that many people have built, but they did not build it. Yeah, that's what she's trying to say. And of course,
that's not what I said.
No. For those who don't understand why we're talking about a bridge, what's it so much ado about a bridge? This bridge is one of the best things that's happened to Nigeria as a country in recent times. One of the most important parts of our country, every part is important, but this is another important part, is the southeastern part of Nigeria. And there's only one bridge, an old bridge, very old bridge. for the southeastern part to connect with the rest of Nigeria. So what
Yeah.
happens is that there's always traffic. It's always terrible, especially during the festive periods. And this is a region, especially on Niger, that has this commercial hub. You know, it's one of the most viable markets in Africa. So it's terrible for people who go there to trade, or people who even live there. And the second bridge gets built to ease that traffic. It was something that seemed like an impossibility until it got done by kudos to the government of President Muhammadu Buhari for building that bridge. And now the bridge gets built, but what do we do?
And some unfortunate human beings, the unfortunacy that follows some people from their villages, decided that that was the next point of call. See, I know that a lot of few people are going to come out and say that the government needs to do more when it comes to security and securing these things. There has to be, yes, I get all that. But we also know that with the scarce resources that there are, no matter what it is that you want to call it, they cannot be everywhere, every single place at every time. Let's be honest with ourselves. Is it the personnel? Do they even have that kind of personnel? Do they have, even if we say we want to deploy technology in those places, yeah, there should be people monitoring those things. But at the end of the day, you still need personnel to at least to get, because if you see it on CCTV, you still have to deploy people to put there. But imagine if people are not unfortunate. There will not be a need to put, you will probably put cameras on that kind of a bridge for traffic laws, upholding traffic laws, not because you think that somebody is going to be as unfortunate as vandalizing a bridge as important as the second Niger bridge.
And the reason why we're going to espouse on this, you know, I'm actually working on an opinion piece about it. I'm supposed to make a video about this, but maybe this is it. So this time yesterday, we're discussing how the Federal Airport Authority was going to deal with people who had, guess what, stolen runway lights.
I swear,
oh my God.
See, I know that they will say that, still go back to the fact that there's they should monitoring these things, but I will still keep saying, if people are not unfortunate, if unfortunately, I don't know if that's a word, it's not following.
It is today.
It's not following some people. If they are not following you, some of you people from your villages, I don't know how amenities that are supposed to better the lives of everybody, some people feel it is their birthright to be stealing. And then the worst part is the fact that I will still agree that if there is no market for these things, people will not keep stealing them. But there are still some more unfortunate people that still buy these things. Again, you're all in the same category.
Yes, the receiver and the seller all fall into Dolupo's
Unfortunately.
WhatsApp group of unfortunate people.
Yes.
And this is a very sad scenario, because it was only recently this thing got upgraded, the runway. I think it was October. November.
It's not even up to a year.
Yeah,
it's
November.
not even up to a year.
It was November 2022, and now you've all gone ahead to steal the runway lights. Like,
I've tried so hard
seriously
to be to
now
really
take that and juxtapose with what they've done to the second Niger bridge, and they've only done one part of it. I'm sure they'll go back to do the rest of it. If you find yourself on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and you're about to get into Lagos, there's a popular bridge that has been named by people as Kara Bridge. We don't know what the federal government calls it officially.
Yeah.
And you look at the railings there. The company that's fixing that road had to
make it
concrete
because of some unfortunate people that are still in this same WhatsApp group. They are all in the same thing.
Yesterday, we were still talking about how there's a video. It's you can call it a viral video now of a man in a vehicle, in a private vehicle, at 2 a.m. going from manhole to
to
manhole,
manhole, picking up things.
stealing them and putting them in his vehicle. Now, look at all of this, mix it all together. If you find yourself on the bridge that leads to Akpongo, you barely find railings there. I remember how those railings were so beautiful. They were made of aluminum. And
What? And this place,
yeah, but they're gone now. They're gone.
See, sorry, please
Yeah,
go
please
ahead.
go. No, it's fine. It's
I
fine.
still keep saying it that there are a lot of Nigerians. You know, we ask the government for a lot of things. We want better amenities, and if we cast our mind back, remember that a train actually derailed because some people stole the train. I think
The sleepers.
And then it literally is mind blowing.
Now, the train that she's referring to is the newer installations by the government. Is the train that takes people from Kaduna to Abuja and Abuja to Kaduna, and it got derailed because the sleepers had been stolen. Now, a few weeks after that, some guys were arrested with rail track.
Yeah, there was one that over 600
in Kaduna, in somewhere in the eastern part of Nigeria, and somewhere in the middle belt again. Now, the old tracks are not spared. The new tracks are not spared. We are talking about how to make life better for us. We're talking about how infrastructure-wise, Nigeria has a lot of work to do.
work to do. Do you understand?
We're talking about creating a ring road and a network of rail that will make life easier for farmers and business people and even regular people like us to go from point A to point B. You know, imagine if we have that rail network and, you know, they can put farm produce on it. You know, the toll gates that people have to go through when they are importing, or so when they are transporting their finished farm products, their harvested produce from the north to the south. I saw a guy make a video and he had over, I don't want to exaggerate, over 40 receipts. I know it's 70 in the video, but you see me, I always like to play very, very safe. Like, how do you expect the price of food to not go up if someone that is bringing yam or any other farm produce to Lagos for sale has to pay
all that much?
But if you put it on a train, you know they can't come and be collecting all of that. So imagine if we had like freight trains.
Yeah,
it's the same freight trains that will take imported stuff that we get from the ports in Onne, in Warri, in Lagos, and any other port up north, or to the east, or to the southwest. You know, so with the river ports that have been reactivated and some that have been maintained, and the new ones that they plan to build and dredging, it will just make life easier for all of us. But it looks like we're hell bent on staying back in the dark ages.
I'm telling you,
like some people are really
so
intent on making life terrible.
We're so quick to say the government this, the government that. Like, okay, we've been saying for years. A government even came up to tell us that there was no possible that we couldn't have trains.
Yeah, that was Donyo Kukbe. I remember when he was in
government. You get? Finally, another government makes it possible. And then the next thing some people think they can do is to destroy these things. Like he had said before, that some people said, I am saying that since I was born and since I was like at least old enough to know, I've heard that he said that they're wanting to build Second Niger Bridge. Second Niger Bridge was always just talk. In fact, the amount of times you've heard Second Niger Bridge, you will think it was actually really in existence. Finally, somebody decided to take the bull by the horn and actually build a second Niger Bridge. It is bad enough we don't have a third or a fourth or a fifth Niger Bridge yet. And then some unfortunate people in the unfortunacy, what's it called? WhatsApp group. You know what? Every day I think I should be bringing out people in this WhatsApp group.
Yes, now.
It should be a thing.
You know, we said we're going to be doing our daily awards.
It should be a thing.
The knock of the day, the idiot of the day, you know, the man of the week and all of that. Trust me.
Unfortunately, WhatsApp lists added.
Yes,
people that differ.
It's important.
People that vandalized the second Niger Bridge. I will come back with new ones tomorrow. maybe it's time to start pointing out the madness that goes on in our country. Yesterday's zone was people that decided to steal crude oil. We'll be back with another one tomorrow because, of course, there is a large chunk of Nigerians that will always be unfortunate. So what I'm saying is that I think that another thing that we can do as a people is that we should also be able to police these things. These things are actually also our own things. We pay for it. It's taxpayers' money. If I remember very well, the video of the man that was taking manholes and the video that was taken, I would have preferred if this man was accosted.
Yeah.
Because at the time he knew what he was doing, he knew. Because by the time you start stealing stuff, or you start taking stuff, let me put it like that. The minute you start taking stuff at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, you in yourself, you know that this thing is actually wrong.
Yeah, but at least they have someone that they can lie against now. It's the devil.
So
it's the devil.
I think that another thing we can do is that if you see someone throw something on the road, dirt on the road, accost them.
One of my favorite videos.
We need to actually do those things.
One of my favorite videos online speaks to what you talked about. I think it happened somewhere in Asia. I don't know if it's China or Japan or one of those places. And someone was driving past the freeway and threw maybe a can of drink or empty can of drink or something. And the lady, she was chatting with a friend, just ran and kicked the thing, gave it a nasal shot like she was pulling out in a football field. And the thing went back into the person's car.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, that's how to do it. Honestly, we keep expecting, the very best. You compare your country to the best parts of the world, but you cannot live like they do in those places.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I know that some of those countries are going through it now, and so people have started talking about how they're becoming dirty and all of that. But that's not the standard. Really and truly, who cares about that?
The truth is, if the little that you can do not vandalize that one is there. The one that we're already fighting that is not even enough. So people decide to vandalize it. Don't worry, I'll be back again tomorrow.
And again, we need to highlight, what does the law say about these things? Because if the law is archaic about it, they've not upgraded the law about, they need to step it up.
Definitely need to step it up.
Moving away from that.
Moving away from that, and then very interesting conversation is about population. Yeah. So, according to the Spectator Index, Nigeria's population, in 1980, was 73 million. 73 million, sorry.
Money no will kill you.
Yeah.
Money will not kill you. Say amen.
Amen. Germany's population was about 76 million. As of 2020, Germany's population was estimated about 83 million. Nigeria's population, 206 million. I know that this Nigeria's population is very heavily disputed by a lot of people that I know.
I'm sure you know.
A lot of people. But anyway, we know for a fact that Nigeria's population is well over 100 million. That we cannot dispute. We're a lot in this country. So anyway, moving from that, now I'm going to juxtapose this. And you're wondering, why would we move exponentially like that? I will give you one of the reasons. One of the reasons is where it is said that Nigeria may record about 700,000 unwanted pregnancies by the end of the year 2023. And then you're wondering, wow. So, is it that people are not using condoms, or people just don't, because seriously, let's break it down. It's not even funny anymore. Where are these so-called unwanted pregnancies coming from? They're coming from a lot of places. They're coming from people being unfortunate, molesting, raping people. There's the conversation of that one. There's the conversation of people not using proper protection. There's it was a mistake.
Okay, let's start from the reports by the United Nations Population Fund, the UNFPA, who are, of course, credited with this data: 700,000 unexpected pregnancies.
Unwanted.
Yeah.
Where are you getting your unexpected from?
Yeah, I can paraphrase. Now, they're saying that one of the biggest issues is the funding for family planning. They're saying that the funding gap for family planning has increased and skyrocketed from 25 million in 2022 to 32 million in 2023. And it could further lead to 300,000 unplanned births and 300,000 unsafe abortions. Let's talk about the unsafe abortions. That's a scary thing. Abortion in itself is a contentious issue. People have argued for and against it.
Not just in Nigeria, all over the world. There's the
but now we're
even
talking about an unsafe version of it, which is one of the most dangerous
things
out there. So again, we need to discuss that, but look at what's responsible for it. Don't look about jokingly or in passing talked about condoms.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about condoms. Condoms, male and female. Yes, there are female condoms. Are you surprised? Oh, yes, they are. So it does not swing one way.
It doesn't swing one way.
It doesn't swing one way.
See, I used to tell people that as a woman, at the end of the day, other than, even when it comes to STIs, women are actually more prone to getting these things than even men. It is the way the biology works. So if you don't want these things in the first place, the best thing is, don't be expecting that the guy is the one that will always have condoms. Mm-hmm. Don't be expecting such things.
Yeah, so we're talking about safe sex.
Mm-hmm.
Now, notice that we're not saying don't have sex.
Mm-hmm.
We're saying we're talking about safe sex. Now, the sex that we're also referring to is consensual between two adults.
Yeah.
At least two adults in this world that we live in.
In this world that we live in.
Things are happening. But that's not why we're here. So we're talking about consensual, sex and all of that. However, let's also look at non-consensual and
that leads to pregnancies. Yeah.
So
it's there whether we want to talk about it or not.
You cannot
rule it out.
You cannot paper over this crack.
Yeah.
Really and truly, there are issues like that. Rape and the rape culture is a terrible thing. It's happening in and around us.
Yeah.
All around the world. The numbers are increasing and it's becoming scarier by the minute. A big shout out to the government, especially the Lagos State government, with what they are doing, and the Mirable Center and the Lagos LSDVA. Because it's usually linked to gender-based violence.
DSVA a lot. Shout out to Lagos State government. They definitely are taking the bull by the horn. There are a few other states that I know that they're very, very, that they clamp down on these things a lot too.
Some states even passed a law.
Yeah, they pass laws. I know Kaduna State, I think there's a law
Please tell them about that law.
So go to Kaduna State and go and do such.
In fact, what they should be doing is that they should be transferring rape cases to Kaduna. This one transfer to Kaduna.
I know that
by the time they deal with them
I agree. I know that for, I think, Ekiti State, their sexual offenders are even put on billboards around the state.
Yeah. So again, these are all the issues, but let us not lose sight of the figures. I know it's estimated, but it is as scary as can be. The reason why I'm harping on it is that I did a quick Google search of the 10 or 11 smallest countries by population in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And the Vatican is a country with 510.
Mm-hmm.
We have technology. Sorry, guys. We have Nauru, number 3, with 12,000 plus population. 12,000.
I don't understand.
That's
a country. Where is it?
That's just Opik Junction. So there are countries that have that kind of population. Tuvalu has 11,000. That's not country number 2. Nauru has 13,000.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing how they are saying that Nigeria in 2023 alone might have 700,000. How many countries? San Marino has 33,000.
Wow.
33,000. Monaco, of course, we know Monaco is 36,000. And Liechtenstein is 39,327. You know, we need to keep searching. I'm just basically trying to put out St. Kitts and Nevis is 47,000. So when you have this data available, think about how just one country. My people will not knock. You are knocking.
See.
You're knocking. Nigeria.
I think that also illiteracy makes it worse. These things, when I say unwanted pregnancies, let's remove the violent ones, the rape and all that from there. The people that are just being careless. There's also the angle of a lot of rural areas that there's no real access to, or some beliefs that do not believe in
the traditional and religious beliefs.
Yeah, that do not believe in family planning and all that. And this worsens. In fact, it doesn't just worsen.
I'm coming for you now.
Oh, okay. It just doesn't worsen things. It worsens poverty. It brings poverty.
That's stereotypical. You're here talking about the rural areas. What about the urban areas and pull-out game strong?
I agree. I apologize. I apologize. Yeah, my pull-out game is strong.
Mister, my pull-out game is strong. You see your life. 700,000. In fact, now una plenty pass. Now una plenty plus. What I'm saying in English is, we have more of people who disregard the entire safety processes and safe sex processes for their own, immediate gratification. You have a pull-out game that is strong.
Pull-out game that is strong. Oh God.
So 700,000 is pandemic level for me. And if the Nigerian government, federal and state and local, are serious about anything, they need to look into this thing and look for how we need to create more awareness. Now, one of the issues that the UNFPA is talking about is funding. So, isn't it cheaper to create awareness and provide the tools than the population explosion?
Yeah, if I'm correct, there's some certain,
isn't it cheaper?
Condoms that are free. I think in some.
There was a time they were giving it out on the regular.
I think health centers they're free. I think that people will need to put out a lot more information for a lot of people. Like, I will still go back to say a lot of rural areas that they do not have the information. That your pull-out game is, you think your pull-out game is strong. That one, you're just stupid.
Beyond condoms.
In fact, it should be in my unfortunate WhatsApp list.
Beyond condoms, there are other mechanisms and treatments. People can go for treatments, men and women. There are things that can be done beyond condoms. That would prevent unwanted. Childbearing, unwanted pregnancies. So let's expand the scope beyond condoms. The first thing, and I know they're gonna say, it's actually abstinence.
Yeah.
First thing is actually to stay away. Try to control your urge. But if you do not control it and you have a willing partner in your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, please try to use protection, because it's beyond childbirth, unwanted childbirth. We're also talking about sexually transmitted
infections and diseases and all that. Yes,
these things are real. They are real. So these are some of the things that we need to look at. But 700,000, and again, when you people will hear just ordinary thunder or lightning, weather for two. You see your life. You see, before you know it now, weather for two. You see what's happening now? 700,000.
People shall be careful at the end of the day.
When there are countries that they don't even have up to 100,000 people in the country.
And you cannot compare.
I'm telling you, it's because we are knocking too much. It's the truth.
Can we move on?
Move if you want to move.
Why are you now angry?
The truth did not say that we should not say it. You see, when you speak vernacular, no, what do we even say? When we speak Yoruba or any of our traditional languages,
did not say that's not proper English.
English.
The Yoruba is proper Yoruba.
Yeah, you do the proper English of the truth. Oto Nikamason. Yeah, Oto Nikamason. Yeah, do the proper English.
Truth. The truth needs to be told.
You see,
truth needs to be told.
She started.
No, truth needs to be told. That's what it means.
And she tried to define it.
Told.
What I done was a direct translation.
Exactly.
It was meant to be jocular until she tried to punch a hole in it, and then she started. But the bottom line is that please, abstinence is number one. Safe sex is number two. Protect yourself, protect your partner, protect your future. 700,000 unexpected pregnancies. And now, especially if you are from that area in the southwest where they have twins. They didn't say pregnant. They didn't say pregnancy is 1-1, no, because some of you people you'll be eating a lot of yam.
Wicked human being.
The Lord protect us. The truth is wicked. The Lord protect us.
You're a wicked human being. Anyway, let's move on from that. Congratulations to the former vice president of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, who has now been appointed global advisor to the Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet.
Congratulations to him, indeed. He's done something massive, and the reason why I say he's done something massive is that that when people go into government, like, okay, Yemi Osinbajo was a private sector guy, kind of like, was a lecturer and a practicing lawyer, a professor of law, massive. Then he went into government and he became a commissioner. Then years after, he became the vice president of the most populous black nation in the world.
Yep.
Now, what do you expect after 8 years? It hurts me that people who have garnered experience from governance positions, they just go into a shell somewhere.
Yeah.
Or they become so irrelevant, playing politics instead of governance. So, like I was saying, I don't know if I put it out here. Recently, Nigeria did a change of guards at the security level. The chief of staffs were all changed with some top military brass. And I say to myself, why can't we create some kind of institution, some kind of academy,
especially with this security people?
Yeah,
they've garnered enough.
So, if we get them, security in every sector, create some kind of institution that they belong to, and they can help with, on a part-time basis.
Yeah, mentor
help
people
with mentorship. Because no matter how bad someone is, when they're in government, they learn on the job.
Yeah.
And we tend to just discard all this experience and move on. I'm glad that Yemi Osinbajo has gotten this. I hope that whatever he gets to do will be impactful.
I totally agree with you. Other than him, one person that I have seen that has done a few of that as well is the former president. The former president, Goodluck Jonathan, he's very, very into the what's it called now? He's into ECOWAS, and he's doing a lot of peacekeeping. And I think that's really one of the things that we need to do as a country. People that, if we go back and we look at people that have done a lot, have garnered enough experience, people that have used, they've been in the system, they know how the system works.
Yes.
At times, there are people that are the best people for such thing. So yeah, kudos to them and kudos to the people appointing him as well. We wish him all the best in his new appointment. Now let's move on from that. Let's go on to the House of Representatives. Now there's something that we had talked about, I think about a week or two ago, I'm not sure exactly, about the CBN asking banks to ask customers for their social media, and there was a lot of back and forth on that conversation. Now it looks like that conversation is not going anywhere anytime soon, as the House of Representatives has asked the central bank to stop the implementation of this directive.
Terrible idea by the central bank. I said it when it came out. A few days after, the thing was nipped in the bud when it was pointed out that one of the laws that the new president, Bola Tinubu, had signed, the Data Protection Act and everything, actually, prevents the CBN from doing this. Mm-hmm. For the life of me, I cannot figure out how and why you want to get my social media. What does it do for you? You already have my biometrics. You have my BVN. You have my NIN. What do you need my social media for? So that whenever I'm ranting against your terrible services, you can use me as a scapegoat. Is that why you want my social media? Sorry, dear. Couldn't happen. It's not going to happen. I am so glad. What I don't understand is why it's taking the House of Reps so long to latch onto this, and if it's even necessary for them to make a pronouncement. We already have a law that prevents it anyway. So at times I'm thinking, like, is it some form of revisionism, or they're just trying to latch onto something that is trending? Because their House of Reps, there must be more pressing things than this one. This one is already sorted. It's covered by law.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, looks like there's announcement of people's results now. I think following what happened in JAMB, this is probably the first time I'm seeing this happen. Now, NECO has now released the results of the 2023 Common Entrance Examination. I would not expect that there would be any form. Anyway, they have now come out to announce the results and said that 76 pupils had gotten the highest score of 203.
See, you don't want to be mesomized by a mesomic catastrophe. To be honest with you, we learn from these situations. You will come back if this happened again and criticize NECO.
Yeah.
That, didn't they learn from JAMB?
Yeah.
Or didn't they see what happened? So again, systems must evolve, and meet with the current situations. Our current situation is that people have been doing it for years, but now Nigerians have had enough of it, and we're not going to condone anybody that wants to, be funny for whatever reasons. We don't even care what the reasons are. Congratulations to the students who have now scored 303 in their NECO exam. 303 is the highest, right?
Yeah. But wait, I'm guessing common entrance is into secondary school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Congratulations to them. No, NECO is into uni now.
No, there's NECO there's NECO for common entrance. I remember very well. There's federal exams. It's into unity schools.
No, we used to have common entrance exams.
Yes,
before NECO came.
No, there's states common entrance. The federal common entrance exams that are actually conducted by NECO.
Wait. What I'm saying is that there was WAEC, which is for you to get into university.
Yeah.
Then the Nigerian government, because WAEC is a West African thing, Nigerian government created NECO, right? For uni people to get into, for secondary people to get into uni.
Yeah.
So you're saying now that there's a NECO version for primary people to get, primary school students to get into to secondary school.
Yeah, for unity schools, federal schools.
That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Because it didn't exist before.
Oh, okay. I always knew there was.
It didn't exist in my own time.
Your own time.
We never heard about it.
We are not in the same time.
Thank you. So congratulations once again to those students. And let's hoping that, they would stay off any mesomic
There's a very
influence.
interesting stats on that about the number of students that took it. But I'm guessing that we cannot totally say there's anything wrong with it because it is students going into unity school. So you really can't say that. Why did I say so? Is that okay? So according to the numbers, they're saying that Lagos State has the highest number of students that sat for the exam, 18,644, and Taraba has a score of a number of 102 pupils only.
Well, based on their reality, their capacity,
but it might also
and
be
demand.
Yeah, demand. It might also be there's the talk of, though not even the talk. There's the proliferation of private schools. This federal exam that people took, it was a thing when we were in school, but I never sat for it. I remember it was a thing where my school said it was compulsory for everybody, the federal and the state examinations. And I remember my mom coming to the school categorically, like, she's not going to a federal or a state university.
It shouldn't be compulsory.
So I know for a fact she's going to a private school. So why do I have to make it? Shouldn't be compulsory. So if it is on that note, we cannot totally judge. It's not like NECO or the into uni that you know that whether you are going into a private uni or a federal uni or a state uni, you have to take those exams, whichever way it is. Yeah.
So, well, once again, congratulations to these students who have scored the highest, and even the ones that are going to qualify to go into secondary school based on merit. Congratulations.
Yeah, and I'm still talking about university. The House of Representatives has now urged the National National Universities Commission (NUC) to suspend the implementation of an English intuition of universities.
Okay, a big shout out to the Nigerian Assembly, the House of Reps, for doing this. Look, anything that's going to make life easier for people, I am all for it. I sign up for it. I say, what's up? I didn't even know the NUC had such powers to increase or decrease.
Now, I was even going to say, I have an issue with that, and it's because if the student loan bill is supposed to come into play, isn't there automatically going to be a hike in price?
We're saying that.
So
let's not say.
I don't understand what the House of Reps is talking about.
No, but wait for a minute. Why do we always think like that? Like, oh, there's going to be a hike. What if there's no hike? What if it's not immediate?
So
what if it's structured?
Okay.
Do you understand? Now, I'm just trying to keep an open mind. Now, I've not said you're wrong. I'm just saying that. Why are we already assuming that, once they give them student loan, then... No, fees don't really have to go up, though. They don't have to. Really and truly, imagine if all your students can afford their school fees based on maybe their parents are paying, or they have a good sponsor, or they have access to student loans. Does that necessarily translate to increased school fees?
Okay, so for federal schools that some pay as low as 5,000 naira.
Yeah.
Are we going to say that you need student loan? What's the point of a student loan if you have to pay?
Then you don't take it. Then you don't take it. Do you understand?
Then I don't think there will be a point for student loan then.
Okay, so I'm just basically being real here, and let's look at it deeper. The student loans, because you're leaving out that aspect of it, should now translate to federal government handing off the funding.
Exactly, because it's already subsidized.
No, you left it out. So I deliberately kept on following that path so that we could get to this point. So what it should translate to is that the federal government of Nigeria would hand off the funding majorly of these universities. Now, I don't like that completely. I like the idea where they create some kind of a grant system where they can still, sponsor research and other, life-changing things that the schools are actually capable of. However, regardless of what they come to, if the school fees are jacked up, hopefully the student loans will be a buffer or be the solution for indigent students. Because we should stop assuming that everybody needs a student loan.
Yeah.
So for the people who might find themselves in that category, it's a fantastic thing to know that really and truly, now, forget that your uncle, you remember your uncle now, he kept on telling you he was going to come through. He's not, He's not coming through.
Okay, but so that's what I'm saying. Like, so if subsidy in education is going to be removed, then automatically prices are going to go up.
Yes.
Anyway, moving on from that quickly, there's news that broke this afternoon that the Benue government has recovered 30 vehicles from over 30 vehicles from the former governor of Samuel Otom. Now, the Assets Recovery Committee set up by the current governor, Hyacinth Alia, traced movable and immovable assets from officials of the Samuel Otom-led administration. And it was said that they had confiscated a number of vehicles from a car lot or something funny like that that belongs to the former governor.
It's disgraceful that in 2023, we're still in a scenario where someone who had governed the state for 8 years is in a situation where they are retrieving cars from them, or vehicles from them, or assets from them. Personally, I feel that it's stealing, in my opinion.
Stealing, let's just...
I've been in a similar situation, although in a private organization. And sadly, even till today, some of my own personal property, private, is still in that company, yeah? And the computers that I was given, I left them. Yeah, oh God, they didn't give it to you now. Now, if you had...
For that office.
Yes. They didn't give it to you. So, governors and political appointees and public servants and even civil servants must realize that something that is allocated to your office is not yours. However, maybe government needs to look into that monetization system. The instant you're getting these things, these assets, especially the vehicles and some of the items that can become personalized. Like, for instance, if you buy a computer for me in the office where I'm working for you, can you make me start paying for it? Do you understand? You know, so when it comes to a time after maybe like a year or so, you can let me own it. That doesn't mean that I will stop using it for office work.
But at least you know that
Let's
is
just look for a way to give these people a soft landing. Because again, we understand how maybe as a governor is used to having so many vehicles at his beck and call.
But it's not your own.
But make him pay. I didn't say dash him. Do you hear the part where I say make them pay for it? You know, so if the governor is earning, say, 2 million naira per month, if he's willing to let 50% of that go into, you know, the payment of the vehicles that he wants to cut away at the end of his 8 years, then good luck to him.
You just said cut away.
Yeah, you know, but public servants and politicians must realize that, you know, assets that are given to you at a time when you're in government are not yours.
They're not yours.
It's not your property.
Yeah, people maybe need to be told those things. Also, now let's move on to Abia State, where the governor, Alex Oti, has appointed about 30 people for different positions. One of the very interesting ones is the appointment of the former captain of Super Eagles, Onwako Kanu, as the chairman of Enyimba Football Club.
Now, as a fanboy, someone who respects and loves Nigerian sports and football, I'm so happy that someone like Kanu Nwako becomes, you know, the coordinator or the general manager or the chairman of Enyimba Football Club, one of the most successful Nigerian football clubs in history.
Yeah.
They currently have in their employ another teammate of Kanu. They were both in Ajax together when they won the Champions League. And is the coach, that's a Finidi George. It's a beautiful thing. I like it. My fear is that will Kanu have time away from his own personal business and his engagements to give anybody support and the management that they need? Because again, I've worked in that sector, so I understand how the sector works.
Yeah, maybe his influence can help the team.
It's not enough. I'm talking about if he's going to have time. One or two of their classmates or their coursemates or their mates have gotten employment or gotten appointments or won elections in administrative positions and they didn't do nothing. I'm not going to mention anybody's name. So that's my fear.
Yeah.
I don't want a situation where Kanu is in charge of Enyimba and is not fully committed to it. Because if Kanu is fully committed to Enyimba, they're going to do well. I'm a big fan of his, massive fan of him. and of Finidi. So this is a good one. Congratulations to Kanu Wako and all the other people, Jay Martins and all of that.
Yeah.
But guess one thing. Remember how people keep talking about how they want to cut down the cost of governance.
Okay, and then it
You
just
want to
never
cut
happens,
the cost of governance.
It just never happens.
But it never happens. I remember when, the former President Buhari was campaigning. He was going on about the presidential fleet and all of that. Okay?
What came out of that?
Man didn't touch that fleet for 8 years. What does that tell you?
I think that
when we're on the outside, we can say a lot of things.
Yes,
but when we get on the inside, you find out that there are certain things.
It's not as easy as it really isn't.
I'm looking at Governor Alex Otti and I'm saying, Mr. Governor, you already have 30-something people, yeah? For real?
And there are no commissioners yet.
Okay.
Very, very, very interesting.
We got a day. We did here. We pim.
Anyway, quickly, let's move on to Osun State as the Osun House of Assembly has finally repealed the law validating the public usage of the state's anthem, the crest, and the flag. And remember, also the name of the state that was changed to State of Osun. It was a huge deal then. It's the State of Osun. It's not Osun State. And, all those things that was changed by the former governor, Rauf Aregbesola. Now, they're now back to even the what's this thing that they call? It used to be the State of the Living Spring. It was changed. A lot of things were really changed during his time. Now, they are back to what they were. So,
politics is such a funny game. It's such a funny thing, yeah? Everybody knows that former Governor Rauf Aregbesola supported the PDP's candidate. Yeah? Funny thing is, his own party man that was there for 4 years did not do this, There was actually a case in 2017 where there was a court judgment that had asked the state to reverse these things officially. According to the court judgment, it was said that these things are not in the purview of the state to do. Okay. So, again, back to what I'm saying. This supports what I'm saying. Anyway, whatever it was, the governor did not do it now. Oyetola did not do it.
He didn't.
More or less like him being loyal to Aregbe to a certain extent. Now, on the flip side, it's PDP versus APC. The PDP people don't owe you nothing. They don't care.
But the honest shows that was it really necessary? All those state of
I was coming to that. I was just saying that I was talking about the politics aspect of it.
Yeah.
Now, for the branding aspect of things, what is the state of Osun? Like seriously, Uncle Daddy, Mr. Chief.
Yeah, like you're not. It's not a different entity from Nigeria.
What did it bring? You rebranding a state as state of what did it bring?
What did it bring to the state?
The state of where? Oh, you are copying where again? In which country? God.
Yeah, see, I think that's it.
Governance is
the
supposed
bottom
to
line
be the
is
same
that
thing.
what did he bring to the state?
What
yes,
did you
I agree.
changing Osun State to State of Osun? What did he bring? What was the extra thing that he brought? Then you changed the other thing, Omoluabi something. To living. Guys, Living Spring now, because the Living Spring alone, that Osun Osogbo thing is one of the biggest things that Nigeria has. Until the day Nigeria decides to harness that thing, like really push it up. You see the awareness about the Yoruba culture now across the globe. People are talking about it.
I saw a tweet. I think it was this guy, French Montana, that came.
Oh yeah, did you see his agbada?
His agbada, yeah. And then someone out quoted that tweet and said, "Let's be honest, like every major thing outside Nigeria is really about the Yoruba culture."
Do you see the massive followership the Yoruba religion has outside Nigeria?
Outside Nigeria,
Notice that I said religion and I didn't use it wrongly. I'm deliberate about it.
Yeah.
In Brazil, in Cuba, in America.
There are a lot, especially in South America.
Why did you remove the State of the Living Spring, which is about the Osun Osogbo festival and the Osun River, and change it to something. Me, I support this decision by the new speaker and the
I totally agree.
Osun State House.
Now, finally, before we go, quickly, Headies has released the nominations list for the 2023 edition, We don't know where it's going to be. We don't know if it's going to be back in Nigeria or they are still going to some, over the ocean place to do it. But anyway, they've now released the list, and it looks like it's going to be a very, very highly contested awards this year, because of course you know that the Nigerian music scene is really explosive. Now, very interesting. Quickly, one of the things that some of the awards that are very, very controversial. Rookie of the Year. This has Odumodu Black, Bayani, Gucci, LT, and Kaid.
Yeah, look, if you look at that list, when I looked at it earlier, I felt Odumodu was the biggest on that list. Now, Cade and LT have had some hit songs. Bayani has had about 2 or 3, not 1. Yeah. You get. But Odumodu seems to be bigger in the sense that it's featured in more songs, it's had more buzz, more vibe. And if I was voting in that category, I'm definitely going to give it to Odumodu as Rookie of the Year.
Okay, quickly, Best Recording of the Year has Alone by Burna Boy, Soweto by Victoria and Tempo, I'm a Mess by Omale, Closer by Oxlade, Stand Strong by Davido, and No Woman No Cry by Thames.
Now, Stand Strong by Davido features Kanye's choir.
The Sunday Service Choir.
Sunday Service Choir. No Woman No Cry, never listened to it until this afternoon. I just never bothered, And it's a beautiful song, yeah? Of course, we know it's a Bob Marley song, but the Thames version is amazing. But I'm not going to lie. You see, Soweto by Tempo and
Soweto
and Victoria.
Closer,
and
those
two for me are the ones that deserve it. Yes, a big shout out to Burna with the song Alone. It's a nice recording too. But if I'm going to vote, it's going to be between Victoria and Oxlade. And then Omar's I'm a Mess, yeah? But for me, it will be between Victoria and Oxlade, Kulosa.
Yeah, and quickly, let's move on from that. The album of the year, Love Damini by Burna Boy, Mr. Money with the Vibe by Ashake, Raves and Roses by Rema, Boy Alone by Omale, Outlaw by Victoria, Timeless by Davido. I think it's going to be very interesting. It's a very interesting
love that category.
Very, very.
If you ask me to vote already, trust me, I'm going to go with Ashake.
Yeah. If we look at the numbers and all that it's doing in Nigeria, or it did in Nigeria, but if we look at also, Rave and Roses is the best performing album in that category.
Yeah, so trust me, in my opinion. I'll go with Ashake.
Song of the Year, Calm Down by Rema, Last by Burna Boy, Closer by Oxlade, Buga by Kiss Daniel and Techno. Okay, that's true. Finesse by Fields and Benson, Sugba Remix by Ashake and Burna Boy.
I think Kiss Daniels has got this one.
Yeah, I think for a Nigerian awards, I think Buga was really huge.
I think it's that.
Yes, I totally agree with you on that. Next Rated, which it was always a huge thing on this one. Next Rated is Young John, Sheyi Vibes, Ashake, Victoni, and Spyro.
Shockingly, I don't know why some of these guys are in this category.
Next Rated, yeah.
For those of us who have been following their careers, the Victonis, the Ashakes, and the Spyros of this world should not be in that category. But now that they are there,
but they're big. They just became really big.
But you're now saying they are next rated. So let's leave that, because that category is
I think if anybody is on this list, Ashake is going
anywhere you find Ashake, it's not anybody's
It's
mate.
just out of it. Okay, and there are like a whole lot of other artists on this. Adam, before we leave on this issue, now this is the first time since 2011 that Wizkid has not been nominated for the Headies.
Well, that's all right. That shows that Wizzy deliberately didn't drop anything that they were going to categorize. And before she leaves it, best R&B album, Johnny Drill Home, Brother Skipper Chike, Reckless by Praise, Waje 2.0 Waje, Matter of Time by Dami Oniru, and To Be Honest by Simi. I listened to virtually all these albums.
I think I'll pick Chike's album.
Johnny Drill for me.
I think I'll pick Chike's album over everybody
Johnny
else.
Drill.
Anyway, on that note, that is all we'll be able to take today on the Boombar. Thank you for listening. Thank you very, very much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of The Bar. Do you have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead?
Peace.